Hi. Hello friends, welcome back. I'm exhausted and burned out, and I had an existential crisis yesterday where I cried myself to sleep. The President of the United States had a revealing Freudian slip in an interview, while his Attorney General had a full-on meltdown in front of Congress. Oh, and a foreign parliament is literally drafting a $58 million bill on President Trump and Netanyahu. A popular grifter got assaulted in broad daylight, and a rage baiter is on trial for attempted murder with an impossibly high bond in a feat of karmic justice. Yeah. Let's get into it.
Last night in the nation's capital, and stormed the security perimeter at the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
A strange interaction between Trump and an interviewer may have inculpated the people's president. The people's president.
I'm no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes.
It's so interesting how he was looking away while she was reading the quote, and then like a sense of defense mechanism.
What's your reaction
to that?
Well,
I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people.
You see what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. Why is he being so defensive about this? She didn't even accuse you. She just read a quote and you felt attacked.
I'm not a rapist.
I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Oh, do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me. I'm not a pedophile.
She clearly didn't even mention his name. Strange how that works, huh? Feeling attacked for something that you probably totally have not done.
I got associated with all stuff that has nothing to do with me. I was totally exonerated.
What? How exactly are you exonerated? When you've been mentioned 1,500 times. So yeah, that's total fucking bullshit, because by the time I've been editing this video, I found out that he's actually been mentioned over 38,000 times, according to a report by the New York Times. Unofficial reports, aka Jimmy Kimmel, so if it's wrong, go blame him, say that he's been mentioned more than 1 million times.
Which reference our president far, far more than anyone could have imagined.
So yeah. Fuck. And that's only the stuff that you released. Everything else that you haven't released yet, obviously we don't know yet, because, well, the one that's in charge of releasing the files is the one that is most prominently mentioned. What a fucking coincidence.
Your friends on the other side of the plate are the ones that were involved with, let's say, Epstein.
The deflection is crazy. Let's say Epstein. Why let's say Epstein? Say Epstein, it's just Epstein, right? It's also funny that he implies that only the Democrats have been involved with Epstein when he flew to his private island 8 times just in the 1990s. He's kind of like a child trying to distract their parents from the TV they just broke. He's so bad at deflecting, yet he does it every time. And it gets even worse because there's still one more story with Donald Trump, and it seems like blatant corruption, but we'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, you've probably seen this clip.
I'm the acting attorney general, okay? The fact that I used to be President Trump's lawyer is just a fact, but I'm the acting attorney general. So don't say the president's former personal lawyer will do something. The acting attorney general will do something.
This was in reaction to Senator Van Hollen rightfully calling out this corrupt shill for creating basically a slush fund for domestic terrorists and Trump allies. But let's start from the top. So remember when the IRS leaked Trump's tax reports, revealing that he basically paid peanuts in comparison to what he's earning? Yeah, well, he sued them for 10 billion USD. When he was elected as a president, though, he found himself in this weird conundrum where he is now suing the very agency that he's controlling. So his personal lapdog, lawyer, set up a fund called the Anti-Weaponization Fund for a very small sum of $1,776 million US. By the way, all of this is taxpayer money, if you were wondering. Now, any American that believes they were victim of lawfare or political weaponization by government agencies are eligible for compensation out of this gigantic pool of money. The issue is that technically even the rioters from January 6th, who, by the way, very unlawfully stormed the US Capitol Hill, are eligible for this payout.
Simple question. Will individuals who assaulted Capitol Hill police officers be eligible for this fund?
Well, as it explained, anybody
just let me know if they're eligible for the fund.
Anybody in this country is eligible to apply.
This is an issue because, well, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious, but also because Blanche, the now acting attorney general, was Trump's personal lawyer for a very long time, and they have very close ties to each other. And that guy, coincidentally, also appoints the commission that oversees eligibility for this payout.
I am appointing all 5.
Set up.
That just seems like blatant corruption with extra steps. To me, it's just crazy how he can legally establish a public fund that pays off his allies and campaign donors. Not even with his own money. He's doing it with taxpayer money. Money that people work hard for year-round. And here I thought that regular people couldn't get fucked more than they already have been. But you know what they say, if there's a hole, there's a goal. So get your pants on. And in other news, Donald Trump now officially made another list, a bounty list. I didn't know about this. This is pretty recent. You can the president of the free world, and now you get a staggering 58 million USD for his head, his beautiful orange head. And obviously there's going to be a response by Donald Trump, so...
If anything ever happens, we're going to blow the whole country is going to get blown up.
Yeah, totally. Let's hope that nothing happens to him, because we wouldn't want the best president ever to, you know, get suicided mysteriously. That being said, 58 million is a lot of money. You can change your life with that.
You deserve to be publicly executed.
Anyone remember this idiot? Now he is exploring the safe streets of New York. First his GF gets fucked right in front of him.
I've seen her fuck other men. Imagine seeing the girl you love, like, get fucked. Get fucked.
And now he gets fucked up by a random stranger on the streets. Some people have it really tough. Let me see that fucking hook. Ooh. I don't condone violence. Feed the dream. And now, in a last very shocking turn, a white man is racist. I was a happy man before I found out who this guy was or that he even existed, but apparently Chud the Builder, or as I like to call him, Chud the Racist, is getting arrested for attempted murder. I know what you're thinking. Looking like that, with that kind of name, and that weird-ass mustache, he's probably a... And you'd probably be right, but that hasn't come out yet because his hard drives haven't been checked yet. Now, for those of you that didn't know him, and I'm really sorry for introducing this piece of fucking trash to you, but he's a racist streamer who goes around and harasses people, trying to provoke them into fighting him. He's also notorious for saying the N-word in front of people of color.
You know, my favorite line from the is, "Touch me again, I got you. I knew your hungry ass was gonna want more. But hey, we can say what we want, bitch." Thank you. Thank you. Say it again for the mic. Hold on, say it. Thank you. I love this guy, dude. Oh, that's funny. Hey, you gotta let them all say it too. I told him he ain't getting no burgers unless white people can.
Especially calling them chimps. Whenever he managed to successfully provoke a person of color, he would then say, look at that N-word chimping out.
Somebody get him a banana. He's chimping out. Come on over here and chimp out. He chimping out.
What is wrong with us? Why do people feel the need to discriminate against people solely based off of their skin color? And the people that follow him, genuinely, why? Many of the people who followed him actually endorsed his actions because he framed it as some sort of weird way to fight for freedom of speech. But what these people forget is that if you instigate violence against another person, then your freedom of speech doesn't fucking matter. Now, apparently he also said things like, this will end with a chimp on the floor. Or, and I'm just paraphrasing roughly, that he can't wait for the first person to attack him so he can shoot them. Which now I guess his dream came true because he shot and nearly killed a disabled US Army veteran. Fucking tragedy. And now he's being charged with attempted murder, and his bond has been set to 1.25 million USD. There's also a video of him getting arrested. There we can see him getting stormed by a few police officers, getting taken down. Apparently he also somehow managed to shoot himself. Like, why are these idiots allowed to have guns? I don't understand why people feel confident enough to just step outside and then be racist, overtly racist to people and expect no consequences at all. In this case, I mean, it's even more disturbing because he was clearly looking for that altercation, purely because of hatred. He wanted to murder someone, but he just wanted a legal defense. That is fucked up. And that is a trend that I've been noticing in Europe as well. Right-wing extremism is getting way more out of hand than it should be. In my last video I said that the right is self-destructing, and it's somewhat true because the conventional right, the traditional right, regular conservatism is dying out and is being replaced by a super extreme version of right-wing extremism. We had at a church in, I think it was, what was it, San Diego? Just a few days ago, because of super inflammatory rhetoric by also the mayor. It shouldn't have to be this unbelievably polarized and hostile environment. And those disagreements don't stem from a difference in political ideology. They stem from the hatred of a phenotypical characteristic that the person has no influence over. In Germany, there was a video of a lady that was caught yelling Heil. We need to start realizing that it's escalating to a point where we can't even disagree normally, because every time we disagree on something, we have to be scared of the other person, escalating it into a physical altercation, or even worse, into a nearly fatal shooting. I mean, that's all I have to say. This was a little bit of a different video because I just didn't script that much. I told you in the beginning I'm kind of burned out and I'm feeling a bit mentally drained, so I'm trying to take care of my mental health a little, and while doing that I still wanted to provide some kind of content for you because I feel obligated to the people that have been supporting me up until this point, and I'm super thankful of especially the loyal people who watch all the way to the end, that comment every time I post a video and that engage with me and my content. It just makes me happy to know that there's people that are waiting for my content and that are happy watching my videos. If I can provide some kind of value, it just makes me happy, and I'm glad that you're here, so thank you, because if I didn't have your support, I think it would have been tough to continue. Do come back next time. I will be... what do I do now? I don't know, I guess I'll just game a little. I'll see you soon. Bye.